Listen up, you lot. Today we're diving into the wonderful world of noodle cooking. Whether you're a seasoned chef or a kitchen newbie, this guide will set you on the right path. Before we embark on this culinary adventure, we need the right gear. Think of it as preparing for a grand quest. The right tools can make all the difference. First, grab your weapon of choice, a large pot. This isn't just any pot. It needs to be big enough to give your noodles plenty of room to dance around. This bad boy needs to hold enough water for your noodles to swim freely. Think of it as their playground. Next, grab your noodles. Any kind will do: spaghetti, penne, fettuccine, you name it. Each type brings its own unique texture and flavor to the table. Don't forget the salt. This is crucial for flavor. A good pinch of salt in the boiling water ensures your noodles are seasoned from the inside out. Lastly, fetch a colander. This will be your trusty sidekick when it's time to drain those noodles. Make sure it's sturdy and has enough holes to let the water escape quickly. Now, for those who want to take their noodle game to the next level, grab some olive oil or butter. These ingredients can add a rich, silky texture to your noodles. It's optional, but trust me, it's a game changer. A drizzle of olive oil or a pat of butter can elevate your dish from good to gourmet. Now that we've got our arsenal ready, let's get cooking. With the right tools and ingredients, you're well on your way to making a delicious noodle dish that will impress everyone at the table. So, roll up your sleeves, and let's get started. Alright, let's crank up the heat. Fill your pot with water. About 3/4 full should do the trick. Remember, we want enough water to give those noodles ample space to dance around. Now place the pot on the stove and crank that burner to high heat. We want the water to boil furiously, like a raging inferno. While we wait for the water to reach its boiling point, let's talk about the importance of timing. Remember the salt we talked about earlier? Now's the time to use it. Once your water comes to a rolling boil, add a generous amount of salt. Don't be shy. We want the water to taste like the sea. Why all the salt, you ask? Well, it's simple. Salt not only seasons the noodles but also increases the boiling point of the water, which helps cook the noodles more evenly. It's a win-win situation. Section 4, Noodle Plunge. Introducing noodles to the pot. Now for the main event, adding the noodles. Carefully lower the noodles into the boiling water. If they're long noodles like spaghetti, don't worry if they don't all go in at once. Just give them a gentle nudge with a spoon or tongs, and they'll soften and submerge. Once the noodles are in, give them a good stir to prevent sticking. We don't want any clumpy messes, do we? Section 5, Al dente detective, testing for perfection. Now comes the tricky part. Figuring out when those noodles are cooked to perfection. It's not just about following the instructions on the package. Every type of pasta has its own unique cooking time, and even the altitude at which you are cooking can affect the results. We're aiming for al dente, which means to the tooth in Italian. This term is used to describe pasta that is cooked to be firm to the bite. It's a delicate balance that requires attention and practice. Basically, it means the noodles should be cooked through but still have a slight bite to them. Nobody likes soggy noodles. Overcooked pasta can ruin the texture of your dish, making it mushy and unappetizing. To test for doneness, fish out a noodle with a fork or spoon and take a bite. This is the most reliable method. You can also cut the noodle in half to check if the center is still a bit raw. If it is, it needs more time. If it's still too firm, give it a bit more time. Keep checking every 30 seconds to ensure you don't overcook them. Remember, pasta continues to cook even after you drain it, so aim for just under al dente if you plan to toss it in a hot sauce. If it's tender with a slight resistance, you've nailed it. Perfectly cooked pasta is the foundation of many great dishes, so mastering this skill is essential for any home cook. Enjoy your perfectly cooked noodles. Section 6. Draining Dilemma, Safe and Effective Techniques. Our noodles are cooked to perfection. Now, we need to drain them properly. Carefully pour the pot of noodles and boiling water into the colander. Be careful not to splash that hot water. Once the noodles are drained, give the colander a gentle shake to remove any excess water. And remember, always handle hot cookware with caution. Section 7, Flavor Fiesta, Optional Finishing Touches. Okay, you've successfully cooked perfect noodles, but why stop there? Let's take your dish to the next level with some optional finishing touches that can transform your meal from simple to spectacular. But here's where we can elevate them to restaurant quality. These small additions can make a big difference in flavor and presentation. If you're using long noodles like spaghetti, add a drizzle of olive oil or a knob of butter to the colander and toss gently. This simple step not only prevents the noodles from sticking together, but also adds a subtle richness that enhances the overall taste. This will prevent sticking and add a touch of richness. The olive oil or butter coats each strand, giving it a silky texture and a deliciously smooth mouthfeel. For an extra flavor boost, you can also add some grated Parmesan cheese, fresh herbs, or even a squeeze of lemon juice. The cheese adds a savory depth, while the herbs bring a burst of freshness. The lemon juice can brighten up the dish with a hint of acidity, or a sprinkle of black pepper. The possibilities are endless. You can experiment with different spices and seasonings to find your perfect combination. Try adding a pinch of red pepper flakes for some heat, or a dash of garlic powder for an extra layer of flavor. Now go forth and impress yourself with your newfound noodle cooking prowess. With these finishing touches, your noodles will not only taste amazing but also look like a gourmet creation. And remember, the most important ingredient is to have fun. Cooking should be an enjoyable experience, so don't be afraid to get creative and make the dish your own. Share it with friends and family and enjoy the delicious results together.